Hi friends, welcome to Creating with Jovi and 100 Days of Pockets. In collaboration with Cindy A. Lewis, I have created this Shabby Chic fabric pocket. I used some satin and then I used lace and gold trim, and my base for my pocket is actually an envelope. So come along with me and see how I created this pretty pocket. Also, if you want instructions on how to make the 100 pockets that Cindy and I are doing, then you can go ahead to my description box and you'll see Cindy's Ko-Fi link there, and that will take you to her handy dandy booklet that she created for you so that you'll have instructions on how to do all the pockets. Today you will need muslin or lace fabric, glue or a sewing machine, cardstock base, and some embellishments. So my friends, the cardstock base is to create the pocket, but I want to go ahead and use an envelope. So I thought, because I had one laying around on my desk, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that and create my Shabby Chic pocket out of this envelope here. So I think what I'll do before I even get started, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little glue here, and then I'm going to tuck this part down in here like I had it. I'm going to try to do that without getting glue all over myself. Here we go. Okay. Now friends, I do have a sewing machine, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to create my Shabby Chic pocket without one because you might not have one, and so I figure I'll just do it this way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this really pretty satin fabric. It's super nice. I think I'm going to use that, and then I may or may not add some of this really pretty rose fabric. Do a little layer. I might not do that. Let's wait and see. I might want to lean into a fall theme instead, so I'll have it handy, but then I have some fall stuff over to the left since today is November 1st, which actually I can't hardly believe that. Like honestly, I can't believe that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on our pocket. I'm thinking what I'll do is, first thing we're doing is measuring how much fabric do I need, and I can see that I need about this much. So I'm going to grab this razor tool. I seem to have much more luck with that than I do my this wheel thing, whatever the heck this is called. This thing sucks. So I am going to go ahead and just use my razor to cut my fabric to size-ish. I will be cutting a lot more of it, but this will just get us started. Well, my friends, I've made a kind of an interesting decision. I'm going to cut the edges of this. Okay, my friends. So it's okay that this got messed up a little bit because the fabric's going to cover it, so not a big deal at all. This is still going to go back together as an envelope, but I opened it because I want to be able to cut this precisely, and I didn't feel like I could do that good of a job cutting it precisely if I didn't open it up. I'm sure there would have been another way, but I'm really tired today. And so because of that, my brain really is not functioning at full capacity. And so this was what I came up with. So I'm using my Fabri-Tac. Now this is a place where if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use your sewing machine to adhere your fabric to your pocket, whether it's an envelope or whether it's a cardstock or even scrapbook paper. Okay, I don't want a lot of bleed through, so I'm going to spread this out. I really dislike the bleed through that we get when we use our 3-in-1. So spreading it out seems to help with that. Okay, I'm laying this down on the fabric, and I'm going to use my little spatula just to press it down really well. Press this little piece back together. Now while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and I'll check the other side too. Sometimes envelopes, the glue doesn't go all the way to the edge, so I'm going to handle that now. So when later on when I'm putting tags in and out of it, they're not catching on these flaps. That's what I worry about, is them catching on the flaps. Now that I've got this glued down, I'm going to go ahead and I wonder if I should tear. If I tear it, I can get this nice fluffy edge. Ooh, and that's super tempting. Okay, I know that I can't tear this part in here, so let's go ahead and cut that. Now, sometimes with these silky, satiny fabrics, sometimes you can tear them, and sometimes they're very fussy about that, or sometimes you can tear them in one direction but not the other. So I'm going to snip it here, and I'm going to see what happens. Let me snip it a little further. No, I do not think so. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to tear that. Let me check the edge though. Let me check what happens if I go in this direction. Okay, it did tear, but it tore too close to the edge, which is really interesting because I snipped it far away from the edge. But let's see what happens if I was going to fold this up. Let's see how that would look. Yeah, this is exposed a little bit. You know what? That's okay. I'm going to leave it because I can go ahead and add some trim down the edge. So we'll plan on mending that with some trim. So I would say don't try to tear your satin fabric once it's been adhered to something. If you're going to do it prior to when it's been adhered. Okay, so we learned something today about this kind of fabric. Okay, now so the other side, what I'm going to do, and for the rest of it, I'm just going to go ahead and trim it with my scissors. Okay, my friends, we have got the base of our pocket done, and now I am going to glue the envelope back together. Again, I know there's a much more brilliant way to do this, but this is my day today. Okay, here we go. All right, now I'd like to go ahead and decorate the back of this, and I'm feeling like I want to use a piece from my Cozy Autumn printable kit, because some of these patterns are just super pretty, right? And so if I'm looking for some shabby chic feels, I've just looked at all of them. I like this one, or I like this one. This one goes really nicely with that, right? So let's go ahead and we're gonna do that. I'm hosting another open collaboration this month, and it is the gratitude collab that I do every year. I think this is my 3rd or 4th year doing it. And I created a printable kit for it. And again, the name of the kit is Cozy Autumn. So I figured I would use the printable for the pockets that I'm going to make for this month of November. All right, let's think about going with this one. I am going to add a piece of this. What if I hold it like this? Okay, perfect. So if I hold it here, I want to go ahead and cut it right about here. I will use my Fabri-Tac to adhere this onto the satin fabric here that's on the envelope. I have this other piece, and I am going to put this on the front so it sort of mirrors the back. I slid this book page inside because some of this glue is going to get like over on this area, and I didn't want it to get on the envelope, on the inside of the envelope. So here we are attaching that. So far everything is looking super pretty. Now it's time to get some lace, because I feel like if you're gonna do shabby chic, you gotta have some lace. All right, my friends, the first thing we're going to do is attach the lace, and I'm going to cut it to size real quick. We're going to do lace on the front and the back. And this is the front. We're going to do this one first. Chances are pretty good that I am going to add some pretty trim to the lace. I am going to have it hang off of the card. Now I'm going to add some gold trim. This is vintage trim, and it's one of the first trims that I found at a thrift store when I very first started junk journaling. And I've had it for 4 or 5 years now. And it was such a big spool of it that I've literally had it this long. And I don't use it all year round. I mean, I probably mostly use it during the holidays. You know, it's not too much of a summertime feel to me anyway. But I definitely, whatever I paid for it, it couldn't have been much at the thrift store, and I have definitely gotten my money's worth out of it, and it was just a great find. You know, sometimes you just get lucky and you find some good stuff that you actually do use. And this is definitely one of them for me. Okay, once this dries, I will trim it up, and then I will do the same on the other side. I got the edges trimmed up, as you could see, and I'm going to add a piece of gold trim right across this front area here. And I'm going to trim the edge right here where it meets the other gold trim. And I'm wondering if this little snip would fit right here in the corner. You know what? Maybe I'll put something else in the corner. Yeah, I'll put something else there. There's this little awkward area right here in the corner, but I'll deal with that later. Okay, this is looking great on this side. Let's flip this over, and let's basically do the same thing on this side. So I used this lace, so we're going to go around the edges with this. And I'm wondering if I should put the gold down while it's wet. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to, as long as it could reach it. Let's find out. And maybe the gold's going to go down a little lower. Yeah, the gold's going to go down a little bit lower. This little cut apart from the printable kit, my autumn, what is it called? Cozy Autumn printable kit. And so I am inking around the edges just to get rid of some of the white. There we go, that's looking nice now. I want to put this on the front, but let me see what I want to combine it with. All right, my friends, what if I added this to the corner and then tucked this like behind it, but over here? So we have like a nice layer. I think that looks pretty cute, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Going to add a little hot glue to this piece. I think this side looks super cute, super cute, right? So let's decide what we want to do on the back. This this is a cut apart from the Cozy Autumn kit too, so I decided I'd go ahead and use this. I thought it was cute with the lantern. I thought that could go nicely with the vibe we've got going on here, our little shabby chic vibe. And I think I'll put it right down here. There is our pocket, my friend, and I love it. I think it's beautiful. Plenty of space here to write on it if you'd like to. And then we have the front that we decorated. And then of course, this is the pocket part right here. Plenty of room to put a good size tag or even a letter inside of it. I hope you like it, my friends. I am very, very happy with it. Please be sure to check out Cindy's channel today. Thanks for watching. See you soon.